Hey, it's David the Conflict Cuisine, where we demystify the kitchen using food science. Today we're doing a recipe breakdown behind a chewy chocolate chip cookie. A chewy cookie should stay soft for a long time. These specific cookies were soft even after a week without any added stabilizers. So in today's video, I'm going to explain each step in making a chewy chocolate chip cookie at home. The main concept from this video that you need to remember is that sugar is hygroscopic, meaning that it has an affinity for water. Hygro is from Greek meaning wet or soft. This is why cookies stay soft longer than breads, which usually have less sugar. Sugar, also known as sucrose, is made by crystallizing raw sugar, then refining and decolorizing it of any impurities. What makes sugar brown is that it is coated in molasses. You may also notice that brown sugar is more soft and clumpy compared to white sugar, which is more granulated. This is because molasses is about 25% water. Brown sugar also has small amounts of acetic acid or vinegar, which will be an important detail later. Since brown sugar is prone to clumpiness, it is best stored in an airtight container. Evaporation will cause the sugar to lose moisture and become noticeably hard. You can resoften brown sugar by covering it with a damp paper towel, storing it with a slice of apple or bread for one day, or the quickest way is to break the brown sugar up in a food processor. Now, why does sugar help retain moisture? Well, when sugar and water are combined, they form hydrogen bonds that take a lot of heat to break. Thus, sugar slows down the evaporation of water during baking. When sucrose is heated with an acid, it breaks down into its simple sugars glucose and fructose. This result is called invert sugar, which makes a cookie more chewy because invert sugar is even more hygroscopic than sucrose. Brown sugar has more invert sugar than granulated sugar, so it should be used more if you want a chewy chocolate chip cookie. To prove that brown sugar helps maintain chewiness, I did an experiment with a chocolate chip cookie made with 100% white sugar and another with a 3:2 ratio of brown to white sugar. And after 5 hours, the 100% white sugar cookie is noticeably harder, paler, and flatter. I know what you're thinking, is it even done? My roommate walked in and asked if it was even cooked yet. I think a chocolate chip cookie with more brown sugar tastes better and looks more appealing. I'm looking at you, Nestle, since your recipe doesn't have enough brown sugar. Now that we know how to make a chewier chocolate chip cookie, here's a recipe breakdown. Melt butter in a saucepan over medium heat until lightly brown. Melting the butter adds a nutty aroma and better flavor. Roughly chop chocolate bars into irregular pieces. Using chopped chocolate instead of chocolate chips makes an irregular and more gooey distribution of chocolate. Combine flour, baking soda, and salt in a mixing bowl. Use only baking soda as your leavener. Baking soda causes the cookies to lift once, while baking powder is double acting, meaning that the cookies will lift twice the second time when exposed to heat. The second lift creates a cakey cookie rather than a chewy one. Since brown sugar is acidic due to the vinegar and the molasses, it should make just enough lift without any baking powder. Add dark brown sugar and sugar into a stand mixer with a paddle attachment. Set the speed to medium-low. Using dark brown sugar over light brown sugar adds more flavor. Also, using a 3:2 ratio of dark brown sugar and white sugar is the most ideal ratio for your chocolate chip cookies. The brown sugar for chewiness and the white sugar for crispiness. Too much brown sugar will make a really floppy cookie. Add melted butter until combined, then add vanilla extract or substitute with maple syrup like I. Add 1 egg and an egg yolk until combined. Adding an extra egg yolk gives richness. Too many egg whites will make the cookie cakey, but you'll still need some for moisture. Turn off the mixture and let the mixture rest for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the mixture will thicken and become shiny like a glaze. This creates a glossy sheen and crispy edges in your final cookie. Turn on the stand mixer to medium-low speed, then slowly add in your dry ingredients, then your chopped chocolate. Line a baking sheet with parchment paper, then add 3.5 tablespoons or 65 grams of cookie dough onto the baking sheet for each cookie. Keep them 2 to 3 inches or 5 to 7 centimeters apart from each other. Making large cookies will help retain chewiness. Smaller cookies are much less chewy and will dry out faster since they have more surface area per volume. Place the cookies in the oven and set a timer for 14 minutes. At the 8-minute mark, drop the pan a few centimeters above the oven rack 2 to 3 times. Using the popular pan drop technique deflates any air bubbles, meaning that the cookie will be less cakey. After dropping the pan, turn the baking sheet 90 degrees halfway during cooking for even baking. At the 12-minute mark, drop the pan above the rack 2 to 3 times. Continue baking until the edges are set and the center is almost done. Don't overbake your cookies. Resting the cookies will allow the residual heat to cook the center. Store any of the cookies in an airtight container. Ziploc bags will do just fine. For the final tip, if you have any hard cookies, microwave them for 10 to 15 seconds before serving. That's all for today's video, guys. I hope you learned something new. If you want to see the full recipe, check out my blog in the description below. Leave a comment if you have any more food questions. Like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. Have fun and use your creativity.